So I can say that SOC is a security operations center where it can be your systems, applications, or desktops are monitored. Monitored in the sense you get logs from various log sources to a SIEM solution, and they are monitored, assessed, and defended. Okay. Now, what does SOC consist of? SOC consists of three major building blocks. One is people, process, and technology. Okay. Why these people, process, technologies are required? For managing and enhancing an organization security posture. Okay, what is the security posture here? So what we will do is that these people, process, and technology, we work, these three building blocks will help us to increase the security posture in the sense we will implement several security controls, and will make sure that the environment is protected, and it is not vulnerable basically. Okay, so we will implement the security controls. So that is the main thing. If someone asks you what is SOC and what does SOC consist of, you should say that uh, SOC is the facility where we monitor various log sources. It can be an endpoints, servers, desktops, or applications, and we assess and defend them from the threats. Okay, and what does SOC consist of? People, process, and technology. We'll see the roles of different people in SOC environment. Okay, and the technologies used and different ways of deploying the SOC. Okay, we'll see all these things. So first we will see the building blocks, which I told: people, process, and technology. Now when I say people, for any organization there will be a hierarchy, right? So if in people there is a SOC management, then incident response, then you have L1 or customer management or L1 analysts. Okay, or the customer facing analysts. Okay, now we have a SOC manager, then we'll have a lead, then we have L1, L2 analysts, then we'll have threat hunters, then malware analyst, forensic analyst. Okay, and in coming to process, so every SOC, to establish or to start a SOC, will have different kinds of policies and process to be followed. So if you take incident response, every company will have their own incident response plan, and they will have their own SLA metrics to be followed, SLA to be followed, and they will have their own notification template. If you want to send any notification to client, they will have their own notification template, and they will have their own hypothesis in the sense, if you are doing threat hunting, you need to follow a proper hypothesis template and document. Okay, every company has their own template and their own way of building the hypothesis document. Okay, so similarly, every company will have their own playbooks. Okay, that every company will write their own SOPs, system of standard operating procedures. Okay, these all comes under process. Now what is technology? The technology we are using in the SOC is SIM. Okay, SIM, that is a major threat detection technology we are using, and log monitoring. So we monitor there, and we get alerts, then we respond to those alerts, and this everything is done by the technology. What is the technology we are using here? SIEM, security information and event management tool. Okay, so and we also have case management to create our alerts into a single case, or we have ticket management tools which will help us to assign a ticket to a specific person. We have all these things. Okay, these all comes under technology. Now we are clear with what is SOC, and we are clear with what are the building blocks of SOC. Now we should see what are the roles and responsibilities of people that are present in the SOC, and we'll see how can we deploy SOC in different ways. Okay. Now we'll see the hierarchy or different people present in the SOC environment. Okay. We have SOC manager, then we have four different people. One is related to threat hunter, we call threat researcher or threat hunter, that is one role. Then we have malware analyst, or we call malware hunter, or like whatever the company names them. Then we have endpoint analyst, which basically they monitor your endpoint detection and response tools. Okay, and then we have a SOC lead. Under him you will have two people, like here it is two. In real time there might be more people. Okay, you have two responders, then under each responder you have frontliners, those are nothing but your L1 analyst. So I can say this is first level, which L1 analyst will monitor. These are second level, we call them as instant responder. Then we have leads for these particular IR and L1 and L2 analyst. Then we have a SOC manager. Along with these people, we also have endpoint analyst, similarly for malware, and for threat researchers. Okay, these are the different hierarchy present in the SOC. Now we'll see the roles and responsibilities of each person present in the SOC. Say for example, if you take L1 analyst, this is the L1 role, initial role in the SOC. Now when you start your career in the SOC, you'll start with L1. Okay. Now what you will do, day-to-day activities, you will try to monitor, like there will be in different shifts, like 3 shifts per day, and you will monitor the dashboards or the rules or the alerts that that are getting triggered. Okay, then you will do some analysis on that. Then you'll create some basic reports, you'll build dashboards as part of your daily activities. Then if there is any alert, then you will try to analyze them. Okay, then you will create a shift, there will be a shift handover where you need to submit that shift handover to the next person. So these all things you will be doing day-to-day activities. Okay, and you will be checking the health checks. When I say health checks, in a SOC environment, you will have different log sources coming to your SEM tool. Okay, what you need to do every day in your shift, you need to monitor whether all these log sources are up and running or not in your shift. If they are not running, you need to report them immediately. Okay, so that is nothing but health checks. Now what L2 person will do, he will assist L1 in investigation, and he will help them in incident response process. He will fine tune the rules. He will create SOPs. He will troubleshoot in case of log injection is not happening. He will create executive reports for management. Then he will do deep analysis of, in case if there is an escalation, he will be handling those. So L2's these are the L2's duties. Then we'll come to the lead. What lead will do? Lead will onboard the log sources, and he will update the patching, and everything is taken care by lead. And if you want to implement, if your SOC, in your SOC you want to bring a new tool, like say some orchestration tool, so he will do the POCs with the vendor and finalize that. He will be taking care of POCs, then building detection use cases in for SEM, then interacting with support team in case you need some future request. Then he will design the roster for your L1 and L2 analyst. He will assist in escalations or in instant investigation. Then he will also he also need to take care of the weekly reviews and reports, okay, that he need to submit to the client. These are the major roles of L1, L2, and the lead. Then we'll see different ways in which the SOC can be deployed. First is in-house, MSSP, hybrid, global. Okay, if I talk about in-house, in-house means organization manages on its own. People, process, and technology are managed within the organization. So what happens is that organization, I told you, SOC is a combination of people, process, and technology. All these things are managed in-house. In-house means the company itself will manage all these things. Now, what is the disadvantage of this is that it's a bit expensive, because you are recruiting people, you are designing your own process, you are deploying your SIM tool, all the technology required, you are building it in-house. Okay, so here it is expensive. The companies which companies has that budget, they can go for in-house. And coming to MSSP means managed security service provider. So what they do is that they provide service, they work with clients. Okay, they provide services to clients. Example, TCS, Infosys, these are service providers. Okay, they provide services to client. In MSSP you have two types, dedicated and shared model. If you take dedicated model, what I told you, right? People, process, and technology. The technology, if you see, the client owns the technology stack and infra. So the technology is owned by the client. Okay. Now what service provider will do? The people like the L1, L2, L3 are provided by the service provider. Okay. So the infrastructure is present in the client environment, and the dashboards, everything can be accessed by service provider. He will give all the L1, L2, L3, all these people, process is established by service provider. See, in in-house, people, process, technology is maintained by the company itself. Coming to dedicated, the people, process is maintained by service provider. Technology is deployed in client environment. That is the difference. Coming to shared, the service provider handles both technology and people. So what happens is that in the shared, the service provider himself deploys the infrastructure in his own environment, and he provides the people for the client. But here the catch is he does it for multiple people. Say for example, if company A, there are four companies, company A, company B, C, D. Okay, what he will do, he will use same L1 analyst, the service provider will use same L1 analyst to work for different companies. Okay, in their shift they will not only monitor their company's alerts, they will also monitor company A, company B, company C, company D. That is nothing but shared. They're offering it as a service for different clients. Okay, they have a tool, example, they have a Splunk tool. What they are doing, using this Splunk tool, they are providing services for four different companies. Okay, so why companies goes to this is that they to reduce their capital expenditure. So they will only have operational expenditure. Capital expenditure means, for example, your company will grow, say 50% in next 5 years. So you need to plan the infrastructure and manpower accordingly. So you need to start investing from now. That is called capital expenditure. Operational expenditure means, to run the company at present you need some expenditure, that is operational, to run your operations. So what companies does is that instead of doing this capital expenditure, they want to go with operational expenditure, so that they can because of their budget constraints, so they will go with the shared model. Dedicated means that is specific to only one customer. Okay, now service providers are offering the services only to company A, but in shared they're offering to company A, company B, company C. So they're offering to multiple clients. Dedicated means it's only for a specific client. The L1 analyst will work for only one client. In shared, the L1 analyst will work for multiple clients. Okay, that is the main difference in dedicated and shared. Coming to hybrid, hybrid is mix of both in-house and MSSP. So what they will do is that in hybrid model, the technology and higher management is with company and the L1 analyst is outsourced. Okay, I told, right, technology is with the company and higher management like SOC managers and everyone is with the company, but only L1 analysts are outsourced. Why L1 analysts are outsourced? Because if you go to, say for example, if you consider US, in US they need to pay for L1 analysts, they need to pay $100K per year. So instead of that, what they will do, they will outsource it from India, so they will get the labor for cheap price, right? So this is kind of a hybrid model. Okay, this will give the better results in terms of technology wise and the cost wise. Now many of people are going for hybrid model. Then we have global. Global is kind of, how do I say, global. For some companies there will be a global SOC. Global SOC is nothing but these will oversee the SOCs in different regions, that we call it as a global SOC. Okay, these are the different ways which you can deploy the SOC. Now we'll see SOC maturity model. So we have seen what is SOC and the building blocks of SOC. We have seen in detail what people, process, technology means. Then we have seen L1, L2 analyst responsibilities. Then we have seen the different models. Okay, now we'll see maturity model. What is maturity model is that initially when the security has been started or it's in initial stage, it was always the primary focus was on the perimeter of the security. I mean perimeter of the company. Perimeter of the company in the sense like the firewalls or the firewall security or the switching level, the routers, then switching, then firewalls, then endpoints. The perimeter of the security is taken care much. The focus is more on that, the IDS, IPS, and all. Okay, now after that, what has happened? There are, due to some cyber attacks and compliance requirements and all, they have introduced SIEM. Previously, it is used only for the centralized storage. After that, what has happened is that they started ingesting various logs, and they started an SIEM engine in that. And what they have done, they are using it for threat detection. Okay, threat detection monitoring. Okay, so initially it was only for storage. SIEM is for generally only for storage for compliance requirement. Later they have made in such a way that it can be used for threat detection as well as log analysis. Okay, that is the second part. Now after that, what happened? Okay, now we have SIEM, we have threat detection and all. Now to monitor these, I need more number of people. Okay, I need more, like say 100 analysts or 200 analysts. Now I need to remove the manual intervention of that. What they came with the automation, which is nothing but SOAR, security orchestration and automation response. Okay, so what it does, it will automatically, if there are some playbooks written there, so in case of it has a flow, in case of this alert, these things has to be checked, and you need to automatically close that alert, or you need to automatically respond to that. So these kinds of automations came in place using these playbooks, and the L1 role is uh, slowly getting automated. Okay, now advanced analytics. This is the next generation kind of SEM. So in next generation kind of SEM, what is happening is that they are the in the same tool itself, they're trying to ingest the threat intel, and they're using A and ML to basically recognize the anomalies. Okay, and threat hunting capabilities, and all these has been introduced in advanced analytics. Okay, now there is something known as predictive analytics. So what happens is that based upon the behavior, it will predict that this attack might happen, or this attack there is a possible compromise for this. So based upon the behavior, it will indicate you. Okay, that is predictive analytics. So at present, the companies are moving towards advanced analytics and predictive analytics. Okay, and SOR. Okay, till now we are here, but now companies are moving towards automation and analytics. Okay, this is maturity model. Now, how do you measure SOC team performance? Now, this is a question asked in, like, when you are in a company in a real-time environment, your manager will ask you, like, or your higher management will ask SOC manager, what is the performance of our SOC, or how do you measure that? Okay. Now, how then your manager should give some report, right? Uh, these these many tickets we have solved, these many incidents we have missed the SLA, these many incidents our analyst has worked within the time we have closed these many tickets. So you need to give some data, right? That we call it as key performance indicators, KPIs. Okay. So if you see here, mean time to detect means you have an alert, and or someone has emailed you, say there is a phishing email, someone has sent you to investigate. So within how much time you have replied that person, that is mean time to detect. It might be a tool, it might be a third party vendor, or it can be anything. Like, what is your response time? I mean, what is the response time, like, or what is the detection time? So that is calculated as mean time to detect. Average time SOC takes to detect an incident. Okay, that is the definition of that. Now, what is mean time to resolution? So how much time you have taken to contain that incident or neutralize that threat? Okay, that is mean time to resolution. Then total cases per month, how many cases you got in that month, or incident, how many of them are incidents? Okay. Now, what is the priority of each incident? How many P1 incidents has missed the SLA means P1 will have generally 15 minutes of time to respond. How many of them has been missed? And what is analyst productivity? Like, each analyst has handled how many incidents, how many you closed as true positive, how many you closed as false positive. They will review that. Are you really investigating and closing, or you are just closing it? So they will review everything, and then he will give the rating accordingly. So how many escalations you got from customer? So all these things are taken into consideration, and they will they will create a report and submit to the management. These are called metrics or KPIs. Okay. Then let us see the workflow here. So if you see here, this is our environment. Okay. So yeah, you have different devices here. Then you have SEM tool. Okay. Now it will generate, based upon the rules you write, it will generate some alerts. Now what you will do as L1 analyst, you will pick that alerts, right? You'll pick that, then you'll evaluate, you'll create a case out of it, you'll create a ticket out of it, then you'll try to investigate. You will have different SOPs for different alerts. You will follow the SOPs and try to investigate. In case you are not able to investigate, or you are stuck somewhere, then L2 analyst will help you. That basically you'll escalate it to L2 analyst, or you will ask L2 analyst for the help. He will help you, and he will try to solve. So if he finds it's a false positive, he will close, or if you find it's a false positive, you'll close. Otherwise, you'll escalate. When you escalate, it will automatically go to it will trigger instant response process. You need to follow instant response process to close it. Once it is closed, it will be verified by your lead or manager in case of incident, and then the case is closed. Okay, this is general workflow of a SOC.